All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachaha Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to you, sincere Akim that pushes word in truth and in sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. Coming back with another lesson. Getting straight to it. I believe the title I'm gonna name this will be Jacob and Esau Can't Coexist. Okay. For eternity, that is. All right, now we're coexisting to a certain degree. Um, but there's always gonna be that friction, between Jacob and Esau. And in order for the earth to be properly balanced, with harmony, peace, tranquility, euphoria. Okay. Um, Esau has to be removed from the earth. So I'm gonna read this here in Genesis 25, and I'm gonna read it in the GNT. Brothers, many a times we've read this, whether on video or sit down at camp or just while supping through the spirit by yourself. Reading, studying in the KJV. So I'm gonna read it in the NLT. And I'll start here at Genesis 19:19. It says, "This is the account of the family of Isaac, the son of Abraham. When Isaac was 40 years old, he married Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, the Aramean of Padan Aram, the sister of Laban, the Aramean, the Aramean, excuse me. So in midway through verse 20, he says, the daughter of Bethuel, the Aramean from Padan Aram, and the sister of Laban, the Aramean." It says, Isaac pleaded with Yahweh on the behalf of his wife because she was unable to conceive children. Yahweh answered Isaac's prayer, and Rebekah became pregnant with twins. But the two children struggled with each other in the womb, so she went to ask Yahweh about it. "Why is this happening to me?" she asked. And Yahweh told her, "The sons in your womb will become two nations." Okay, so from the twins that she had, there was two nations that was formed. Okay, from the very beginning, the two nations will be rivals. All right, there you got it. So from the straight out the gate, Jacob and Esau were rivals. All right, now twins, you would think, a lot of brothers have been around twins growing up. All right, now if they're identical twins, in the case of Jacob and Esau, they were just fraternal twins. However, if you have been around identical twins, they're exactly alike. All right, and literally do the same things. And if you didn't know any better, you know, if you didn't personally know them, you could mistake them for one another. And say you went to school and you didn't know that there was twins. You would think that you would see one on campus and be like, "Man, I just seen that dude." You know what I'm saying? But then when you see them together, it's like, "Oh snap, it's twins." All right, but that's how similar twins are. But in the case of these fraternal twins here, our forefather Jacob, all right, and his twin brother Esau, being fraternal twins, straight out the gate they were rivals. Okay, it says one nation will be stronger than the other. All right, and that's referring to Jacob, whose name, our forefather, his name was changed to Israel. Okay, and the older, which is Esau, will serve the younger son. All right. So, and your older son will serve your younger son. Okay. And when and when the time came to give birth, Rebecca discovered that she did indeed have twins. The first one was very red at birth and covered with thick hair like a fur coat, so they named him Esau. Now, when you read that here in the the KJV, verse 25, it says, "And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau." Now, you know, babies aren't born, hairy as hell. All right. So when it's referring to this fur coat in the NLT, but here in the KJV, the hairy garment is referring to in the ancient world, certain coats will be dyed. A coat of hair would be dyed certain colors. In this case, red being Esau, his blood showing forth through his skin, his translucent skin. Okay, so that same redness that he had as a child was likened unto a hairy garment that will be dyed red or a certain color in the ancient world. All right, so that was what was best used to be able to describe, how Esau came out red like that. But through the spirit, their symbolic animal, the symbolic the animal that symbolizes Esau is goats. All right, and goats themselves are very hairy. All right, and likewise, uh, Jacob, their our symbolic animal, you know, is a lion or a lamb, a sheep. All right, and sheeps have woolly hair. Okay, so uh, continuing on, verse 26 in the NLT, it says, "Then the other twin was born with his hand grasping Esau's heel. So they named him Jacob. Esau was 60 years old when the twins were born." Okay. So when Jacob was born, you had Esau that was born first, because when babies come out the womb, they come head first. So here it is, Esau is being pulled out the womb. All right, and you see this, red baby, all right, void of melanin. And then, once his body comes out, you get down to pulling his feet out, and you see this melanated hand holding on this albino baby's heel, man. Okay, and that's why he was named Jacob, because through the spirit, uh, him holding Esau's heel is our forefather Jacob holding Esau's heel was an omen that we were going to supplant the nation of Edom, all right, in the future. Verse 27, "And the boys grew up. Esau became a skillful hunter. He was an outdoorsman, but Jacob had a quiet temperament, preferring to stay at home." Okay. And there's more to it, but for that, I'm gonna leave that here. Okay. So Esau, he likes the outdoors, and Jacob, is a quiet temperament. We're quiet temperament individuals. Okay, when we're in our right mind, because Jake ain't that way now. Overall, Jake is all bugged out. All right, because of the curses. But naturally, it's natural within the spirit of an Israelite to be of a quiet temperament, and just chilling. Now, let's grab this here in Luke 16. This is the rich man and Lazarus. All right, so this is a parable going into Jacob and Esau, but it's focusing on Esau in particular. But Jacob, All right, in this parable is represented via Lazarus, and the rich man uh, is representing Esau. Okay, Esau is represented by the rich man. So it says, Yahweh said, there was a certain rich man who was splendidly clothed in purple and fine linen, and who lived each day in luxury. At his gate lay a poor man named Lazarus, who was covered with sores, and Lazarus lay there longing for scraps from the rich man's table. The dogs would come and lick open his sores. Finally, okay, now let me say that, here in Babylon the Great, we as Israelites have built up this kingdom, and we receive nothing in return. Okay, and to add insult to injury, the heathen, you know, have come here to the Americas. The Polynesians, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Koreans, East Indians, okay, Pakistanis, actual Africans. All right, uh, you name it. They have all come here and actually, gotten according to Deuteronomy 28, they have gotten established above us and pretty much use us as a stepping stool to make money. While these nations, the heathen, are here in America, they've pretty much used the Israelites as a stepping stool and a punching bag in which they generate some type of wealth. They sell us all their BS. Okay, and you know further knock us down the ladder. All right, which is all systemic anyways. All right, there was a chart that brothers had put out about 2 weeks ago showing the what was it, uh the annual income, I believe it was annual income that nations make, or races make in America, and the number one earners were uh I believe it was East Indians were the number one earners, and then the last on the list was the so-called Negroes. All right, so that just, and then everybody else was above us. Okay, the last people on the totem pole was Negroes, Native Americans, and Latinos, and then everybody else was above that. All right, all the heathen were above that, and that's here in America. Okay, so that lets you know that the dogs it licked open the sores of Lazarus. That's these heathens, getting over on Jake, and pretty much shitting on Jake. Okay, while we're in Esau's kingdom. It says, finally, the poor man died and was carried by the angels to be with Abraham. The rich man also died and was buried. Okay, and his soul went to the place of the dead. There, in torment, he saw Abraham in the far distance with Lazarus at his side. Okay, because in the spirit world, this representing, the elites, because you have certain elites. All right, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds. All right, these elite banking families that they die and go to the spirit world. Okay, and they know, because while they're here on earth, they know who the children of Israel are, and they know that they're the children of Esau, Edom. Okay. But in the spirit world, all spirits go to rest. Okay, all spirits go to rest. But this is, it's a parable representing that in the kingdom, we as Israelites, we're going to be comforted. All right, we're going to be in the kingdom with our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Okay, in whatever bodies, the spiritual celestial bodies extraterrestrial bodies, should I say, that we're gonna have, because the kingdom of heaven is gonna be here on earth. Okay, um, but we're gonna be comforted. We're gonna be at peace, and Esau is gonna have to endure the curses and the hell that we went through. He's gonna have to drink of that cup twofold. Okay. Verse 24 says, "The rich man shouted, 'Father Abraham, have some pity. Send Lazarus over here to dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue. I am in anguish in these flames.'" But all right, and there's no such place as hell. All right, where you burn forever. All right, this is a parabolic. Okay, so that hell that that Esau is going to be going through, you know, is they gonna have to bear it. Okay, they're gonna have to bear it the same way we as Israelites had to bear, being out in the field, in the South. Okay, in physical slavery in 110, 15-degree heat. With a humidity, humidity, should I say? All right, and having to work with minimal water. Okay, having low energy and still being required to perform. All right, and to produce. Okay, that was hell that we went through, and Esau, they're gonna have to feel that, and they're gonna have to endure that, the same way we did. Okay. Um, it says, verse 25. It says, "But Abraham said to him, 'Son, remember that during your lifetime you had everything you wanted, and uh, Lazarus had nothing. So now he is here being comforted, and ye are in anguish.'" All right. So the tables is going to turn. What goes around comes around. "And besides, there is a great chasm separating us. No one can cross over to you from here, and no one can cross over to us from there." All right. So going back to what we read in Genesis in verse 23, Genesis 25 and 23, it says, "And Yahweh told her, the sons in your womb will become two nations. From the very beginning, the two nations will be rivals." Okay. So us being rivals, the Lord naturally, created a chasm, or a great gulf, as it says in the KJV. All right. It's a divide, it's a separation that the Lord created, um, between Jacob and Esau. All right. And it carries on to the down both those lineages. Okay. Verse 27, it says, "Then the rich man said, 'Please, Father Abraham, at least send him to my father's home, for I have 5 brothers, and I want him to warn them so they don't end up in this place of torment.'" All right. Now, you do have Meyer Amschel Bauer had 5 sons. All right. Which, Meyer Amschel Bauer changes his last name to Rothschild, which means red shield, and the last name Bauer actually means a Bauer, like a peasant. He had those 5 sons that he sent throughout Europe. When he started his banking dynasty. Okay, and so over time, those same spirits have been reincarnated. Those 5 sons have been reincarnated back on the earth. Okay, and you've had, in even in our lifetime, some of those Rockefellers and Rothschilds who have died and went on to the spirit world. From either I forget the name of the one. He had all those heart transplants, and he ended up giving up the ghost. Okay, so here it is. While they were alive and living on the earth, they weren't concerned with, the message the prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahushua was coming with. All right, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Okay, they wasn't concerned with, us bringing out prophecy. They, were all for, you know, um, trying to muzzle the word and hinder the word from going out. You know, by having all these different laws passed and restrictions and things of that nature, dealing with YouTube and other avenues. All right. So while they were here on earth, they wasn't listening. Okay. Um, verse 29, it says, but Abraham said, Moses and the prophets have warned them. Your brothers can read what they wrote. All right. And here it is, they claim to be descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right. I'm talking about the elites of this society. The Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Gettys, so on and so forth. They lied to the people and tell the people, all right, the general public, all right, that, they come from, that royal lineage, when really they come from a leprous forefather. Okay. But here it is, what's written in the scriptures condemn them, and them knowing that they are going full steam ahead to, outlaw the Bible. Okay. They're going full steam ahead with outlawing the Bible. All right, because they know what's written, what Moses and the prophets have written doesn't serve their best interests. Okay, it reveals who they are, and it shows them their judgment. Verse 30, it says, the rich man replied, no, Father Abraham, but if someone is sent to them from the dead, then they will repent of their sins and turn to the Most High. But Abraham said, if they won't listen to Moses and the prophets, they won't listen even if someone rises from the dead. So even if one of those Rothschilds or Rockefellers who have died in recent years, was raised from the dead and told the rest of the Edomite demons of the elite, what's awaiting for them, post the destruction of Babylon the Great. Okay, the hell that they're gonna have to go through, the slavery and so on and so forth. They still wouldn't believe. They still would be on course with, their wicked actions. Okay, but there's that great gulf. All right, and as long as Esau and Jacob are both on this planet, there will be no coexisting. All right, Esau has to be done away with for the earth to be at peace. Okay, or at least there to be, Esau has to be in captivity for there to be some peace. Okay, but eventually he's gonna serve his purpose and he's gonna be done away with. All right, and it's gonna be even more peaceful to not have to worry about ever seeing Edomite ever again. Okay, that's a whole nother level of peace. All right, so this is 2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 6, and this is in the GNT. It says, even then I decided that since I and I alone have created the world, I and I alone would bring it to an end. Then I asked how long a period of time will divide the ages. And this is what Ezra was asking the angel. When will the first age end and the next age begin? He answered, the interval will be no longer than that between Abraham and Abraham. He was the grandfather of both Jacob and Esau, And when they were born, Jacob was holding Esau's heel. Esau represents the end of this age. All right. So this is currently Esau's age. We're living in Esau's kingdom. All right. This is Esau's world. Okay. And we see that we're in the end of it because, it's war on all fronts. All the nations are uh jockeying for position, you know, uh thinking that they're the next up. They see that Esau is weak, Babylon the Great in particular. And all these nations is licking their chops. All right. So verse 9 again, Esau represents the end of this age and Jacob represents the beginning of the new age. It says, so if Jacob's hand is the beginning and Esau's heel is the end, do not try to find a space in between. All right. So just how when Jacob was born, all right, Jacob and Esau were born. When Esau was born, he was pulled out the womb, but attached to his heel was our forefather Jacob's hand. Okay. So that we're at the point in time when Jacob, Esau is being pulled out that womb. All right, but there's a surprise. All right at his ankle. Okay, the last piece to come out of Rebecca's womb, being pertaining to Esau, was that heel, but right there at that heel is Jacob's hand. Okay, so we're at the heel of Esau's kingdom, and Jacob's hand is that monkey wrench that's gonna cause him to trip over his own feet and fumble the football. All right, and Jacob is gonna pick it up and score a touchdown. We're gonna run it back for a touchdown. All right, all through Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Okay, that's the only way we're gonna win is through Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Yahweh sacrifice, in which he sacrifices his own life for first and foremost for his sins, and then for the sins of the elect. All right, and then the whole nation of Israel. So Jacob and Esau can't coexist. Esau has to be done away with, and first and foremost put into slavery in order for the earth to be at rest and at peace. Okay, and then once Esau is removed, for all eternity is going to be the planet in its proper balance and natural order. Okay, but you can't have Esau around for that. He has to be done away with. So Abarat Zadis was edifying. Till next time, I say shalom.